has called on the media to renew the campaign against illegal mining, known locally as galamsey. He was speaking at the World Press Freedom Day event in Kumasi.
We wish to call on the media to resume the concerted campaign against illegal small-scale mining, popularly known as galamsey. In the past, our collective action in the fight against galamsey yielded positive results as we brought the issues to national attention for action. But for the retrogression in action by duty bearers, sanity would have prevailed, and our land and water bodies would have been held by now. That notwithstanding, withdrawing from our duty, as we have done now, is more harmful to the nation. We need to hammer it because it appears the evildoers are not tired and they keep coming at us with more venom.
Well, GJA President Albert Kwabena Jimfo was rather speaking at an event at Koforidua and not at Kumasi. Let's do other stories now. Eco-conscious Citizens, an environmental NGO, is calling on citizens to stand in solidarity with journalists in Ghana who have put their lives on the line to expose the canker of illegal mining that is destroying Ghana. In a statement to mark World Press Freedom Day, eco-conscious citizens lauded the role played by journalists with regards to the fight to preserve the environment from illegal mining practices. The group is also urging communities to come together to protect the environment from being poisoned and destroyed by illegal mining. Eco-conscious Citizens Environmental Group stands in solidarity with journalists who have put their lives on the line to expose wrongdoing and call for their protection. We can now have a conversation with Awula Serwah, who is Eco-conscious Citizens founder and coordinator. Awula, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So the group is calling for more to be done to protect journalists for reporting illegal mining and exposing high-profile persons behind. What have you picked up in that regard?
Well, what we've picked up is that a lot of journalists feel isolated. They feel threatened. Today, I don't want to mention the names of the journalists, but it's just enough to say that journalists across Ghana are saying that when they write the articles, the exposés, they are threatened by persons in high places. And let's be absolutely clear. Galamsey or illegal mining will not be going on at the rate at which it's going on if highly placed persons were not involved. We know they are involved. What is being done to bring them to book? In many instances, absolutely nothing. So yes, the journalists have a duty, and some of them are doing exceptionally well. But they can only do so much. They keep banging on. And the authorities who should take the necessary action are either involved or complicit or are just not doing enough to stop the canker. To give you an example, I mean, a journalist told me about an area where illegal mining was taking place. He had an expose on the news and he was threatened. And then we know that recently in Zima, in Ayinase, this time not a journalist, but an assembly member who made a citizen's arrest with some members of the community where Chinese and Ghanaians were involved in illegal mining. He took them to the police station and he's receiving threats. So how does that encourage anybody to continue? And in some cases, the arrests are effected, the persons are taken to the police station, and the next minute they are back engaging in illegal mining. As we speak right now, I'm told that if you go to Ayinase in Zima, the illegal mining is taking place as this program is going on. So what is stopping authorities from taking action?
Okay. So you are calling for the restoration of public confidence and the political will to deal with the perpetrators of illegal mining. Do you think this has not been done over the last 6 years? We've been at this for a while.
I mean, of course it hasn't been done. We know, for example, that Professor Frimpong Boateng had a report. Had it not been for the vigilance of journalists, the report will still be gathering dust at the office of the president. Thanks to journalists, the report was unearthed. We know the contents of the report. What has happened to the persons who were mentioned in the in the report who are happily destroying the environment. And that's what's rightly said. Even if you have a license, but you go outside the parameters of your license, you're engaged in illegal mining. And Professor Frimpong Boateng rightly said that when you destroy a forest, you destroy a pharmacy. You know, the forest has so many uses. I mean, the trees it provides, their purification, it's the source of many rivers, but it's also a pharmacy, the leaves, the barks, and so on and so forth. And then it's a habitat for so many creatures. Nothing has happened to the perpetrator. We all know about the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve and the fact that the Akonta mining is alleged to have been engaged in illegal mining there. Has there been any report on it? Have the police completed their investigations and told us what the status is? Of course not. So how does anybody have confidence that there's a real fight against illegal mining? Once or twice, people low down the line may be arrested, but the big flyers, those who have the machinery that is causing so much havoc, what is happening to them? Have you heard of any high-profile prosecutions and convictions?
Awula, so you are backing calls by the presidents of the GJA, Albert Kwabena for journalists to renew our campaign against illegal small-scale mining. How important is this? And also issues of security and safety. What can be done to protect the media? I'm sure it's part of the reasons why it looks like the campaign has gone down a bit.
Well, I mean, put yourselves in their place. They've been bravely going on and on. We all know that nothing is happening because the perpetrators are highly placed. And let me be absolutely clear, both sides of the political divide. But we have a particular party in power. A lot of their members are allegedly involved. You have regional ministers, DCEs, assembly members, what have you, either involved, complicit, or turning a blind eye because they are receiving some benefits, even if it's votes. Now, the question is that what do the journalists do? They keep on raising awareness. They keep on being threatened. What confidence do they have that as a consequence of their making complaints to the police, they are being protected? Now, they have to look over their shoulder every time they are going out. We all know that a journalist has been murdered before in Ghana, so it's not an idle threat. So yes, they should continue doing their job, but we should also stand in solidarity with them, call on the IGP to make sure they are protected, and make it clear that if anything happens to a journalist, we'll hold the police accountable.
All right. Awula, thank you for spending your time with us. Awula Serwah is co-founder and coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens, an environmentally based non-government organization.